Hello book besties, Brianna Sanchez here, your next favorite romance author. Today we are going to be doing a mid-year book tag. So I saw Sarah Caroli do this type of video and I thought it would be fun for us to give it a try because I've read a lot of books this year and I feel like I have a lot of books for these different questions like as answers, but I thought it'd be fun and maybe you guys can get some fun recs out of it. You can kind of see what books I use as the same answer and that'll probably tell you how highly rated that book is for me. So I literally just took Sarah Caroli's questions from her video and I wrote them down and I wrote some answers, so we're gonna go over this together. The best book I read in 2026 so far is, can you guess? Fourth Wing. Did I see this coming? No. Did you guys see this coming? Yes, probably. This was my favorite book in 2026, but that's not my only answer. I have two more answers to this question. And those answers are yours truly, because of course I have to add a romance in here. This was by far my favorite romance book of the year. You could see how much I've annotated it. If you guys haven't seen my reading vlog with this book, go check out my video with Book Bestie Sarah where we go to Barnes & Noble, we go shopping, and we do little crafts and have a buddy read together. Then I am buddy reading this with her in that video. This was seriously such a good book. Then lastly, Direbound. Another freaking romantasy. Did we expect this? No. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, I definitely liked Fourth Wing more, but this was like the same level. Literally the same level. And obviously it's like a very similar story, but it was so freaking good. So obviously these were all rated 5 stars. I even went ahead and got a limited edition version of this book. So take a look at this beauty because I have to show her off to someone. So these sprayed edges are absolutely gorgeous. You have the 2 wolves and then the sword, which is like really significant in this book. Obviously this is beautiful. The back has a beautiful quote, and then inside it has this gorgeous art. It's like literally insane. And on the back side as well, it has a different image. And I literally am just so obsessed with it. And then of course, once you take the book sleeve off, it has this like foil on the cover, which is gorgeous. I think this is by far the prettiest book I own. I've never gotten a limited edition of a book, and I have been wanting to get limited editions or like deluxe editions of my like top books, and I'm slowly gonna get there, but this is one of them. So that was awesome. Okay, next question. What was my best book sequel? So I have 2 answers for this question. The first one being, yet again, Fourth Wing. Oh my gosh, this was by far the best sequel I read. I loved all 3 books so much, and that is a lot to say. Like, to like all 3 of them is crazy. I rated book 1 5 star, book 2 4.5, and book 3 5 star. I honestly should have just rated them all a 5 star though. I think I was being super picky. My next answer is not Direbound, only because I have not read Furybound yet, but I bet it would have been that. But my next answer is actually, again, the Part of Your World series. Here's the thing, Just for the Summer is also included in this series. And technically there's a novella at the end of the series that I haven't read yet, but Just for the Summer was rated a 4 star for me instead of a 5 star like these 2, but I still felt like I loved the series so much as a whole that I had to include it in this answer. If you have not read this series, you need to read this. I did not realize like how much I was going to love it, but then again, Abby Jimenez is amazing and I should have known. Next question is new releases I haven't read yet but want to, and obviously that means that they were released this year and I still want to read them this year. The first one is actually just released, and that is Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. I haven't read any Carly Fortune books, so I will probably be reading this more towards the end of the summer, but this is on my summer reads list. I have all of her other books, like every single one, so I'm going to be reading all of those this summer. I'm so excited because, like I said, I'm going to be at the beach house all summer long, so those are going to be the perfect vibe. Literally, it doesn't get better than that. And then obviously with the Every Summer After show coming out, that's even more exciting. But Our Perfect Storm has literally such amazing ratings. People are going crazy about this, so I'm really excited to dive into this, hopefully at the end of the summer. I think this was the first time I pre-ordered a book. I was like that excited for it, and I hadn't even read anything else by her. It's just like the vibe was perfect, the cover is beautiful, everything about it is just perfect. No, the next release that came out this year that I still haven't read yet, but will this summer, is Rules for the Summer by Megan Quinn. That I'm going to be reading on Kindle Unlimited. I'm actually starting on Monday Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. That's a buddy read. Sarah and I are starting this week. So I'm really excited to get into that because I feel like that's going to be a really good book. I love Megan Quinn's writing. She is literally hilarious, so I'm excited for Rules for the Summer too. Now for my most anticipated release for the second half of the year, without question, is The Keeper by Anna Huang. I am so excited for that to come out. The Defender and her last releases have been my favorite releases, except for Twisted Games. That's always been my favorite book by her. But The Defender and King of Gluttony, like those were literally like my top new favorites by her, and she just keeps getting better. So I loved the whole Gods of the Game series that I've read so far, so I'm really excited for The Keeper. It's also her first single dad romance, and I love single dad romance. If you couldn't tell, I literally just wrote one. So I'm really excited to get into that and see what she brings to the table when it comes to a single dad. I know she's not going to disappoint. So now for my biggest surprise, I'm gonna do both good and bad. Starting off with the good, if you guys haven't guessed, it's Fourth Wing again, because I was so surprised that I liked this as much as I did, and I can't stop thinking about it, and I can't stop talking about it, and I'm rambling, and I'm going crazy, and literally Xaden is everything. So that is what I have to say about that. I have another one that was really good and really surprising for me, and this is also a new author, and that is Consider Me by Becca Mack. I read that on the Kindle, and I was overly surprised by how much I liked this romance. It felt like it was just gonna be a regular romance. Obviously she writes a lot of spice, she writes hockey, but I think I was like overly obsessed with these characters, and it was just like a pleasant surprise. I mean, by the cover, like you can't really see what the characters look like, and you don't really know what you're getting yourself into when you're going with a new author, but I was pleasantly surprised. I am continuing to finish that series. I've read the first two so far, so I'm excited for what's to come with that. Now for the bad. I was highly disappointed with quite a few books, to be honest. I can go off saying tons of different names, but I think the one that really surprised me that I thought was going to be amazing was God of the Woods. I think I rated that a 1 star, if that, maybe a 2 star. I don't really remember, but I just remember being highly disappointed and just wondering, when is this going to be over? I don't know. I just heard so many good things that I thought it was going to be amazing, and it wasn't for me, but that's purely my opinion. So now for favorite author, debut, or new to you. So for this question, I have 3 answers, and none of these were their debut novels, and none of these authors are new whatsoever. They're just new for me. And so my first one is Remy Darling, who happens to be my sister and also happens to be Dee Garcia. She writes spicy romance, and she's just so good. But this was actually the first time I read anything by her. Actually, I lied. This was Remy Darling's debut novel. So this is the only thing published by Remy Darling, and that book was Brat Mode Activated. So good. If you're looking for something that has the most insane amount of spice and you have daddy issues, I would read that. I would read that. It gave me Birthday Girl vibes by Penelope Douglas. That's like the best book I could compare it to that I've read, but it was way better than that. So much better. But moving on, another new author for me has been Rebecca Yarros. But here's the thing, not only have I read all 3 Fourth Wing books, I have also read 2 of her fiction books. I think they're fiction. Or they're just like torrential heartbreak love stories. That's what I'd categorize them in, because these were heartbreaking. So Rebecca Yarros was a great new author find for me this year. I plan on reading every single thing that woman writes. Like, there is not a bad book that she writes. I have not rated anything lower than a 4.5 so far, and that was Iron Flame. And like I said, I regret rating it that. It should be a 5-star. So from now on, I'm just going to say I've rated everything by her a 5-star. There's nothing less than a 5-star when it comes to her. And lastly, my other new author, like I just previously talked about, is Becca Mack. She, like I said, pleasantly surprised me. I've liked both books I've read by her so far. I'm really happy with her. I'm going to continue reading her stuff. I know that she only has this, or I'm pretty sure she only has this one series out, which is the Playing for Keeps series. I don't think she's written anything else, but that girl needs to hurry up and release something new, because I'm excited to just like keep reading more of her stuff. My newest fictional crush is the one and only Xaden Ryerson, however you say his last name. I don't really care, because he is just purely zaddy to me. Like, I'm gonna be so pissed if they cast the guy that plays Justin from Off Campus as Xaden. Like, I just want to preface that I will be very mad if that is who is casted as Xaden. That is not who I picture as Xaden. Nope. It needs to be someone like Jacob Elordi, but more buff and new. Like someone we've never seen before. They just need to do a good job. But I'm not going to stress about that. Besides Zaddy, my other 2 fictional men that I fell in love with were Daniel and Jacob. Daniel and Jacob. I literally don't even know what to say. I don't. These men were everything. Like, let me just find a quote. Okay, so this is Daniel. He goes to her, how's your new job? She goes, it's a lot. I work 14-hour days. My feet hurt all the time. And then he says in his head, I didn't want to tell her that if I was there, I'd rub them every night. I'd have a bath ready for her when she got home. I'd have her scrubs for tomorrow, washed and pressed and laid out. Dinner ready. I'd take care of her. That's Daniel. Okay, this is not something that Jacob said, but this is how Brianna described Jacob. And it's so adorable. This is how I describe Jacob. Jacob made me feel safe. He was like a living lullaby, a softly spoken word, the smell of coffee and toast in the morning, or a cozy fleece blanket, the rain pattering on the roof on a day where you don't have to go anywhere or do anything. And that's Jacob. So, those are my men. You cannot claim them. And that's it. A book that made me cry. I had a few books that made me cry. I wouldn't say that most books make me cry. I would say I'm an emotional person, so it's not hard for me to cry, but in a book, like, I really have to connect. And I have a few. So starting off strong with Rebecca Yarros. This is a pretty obvious one. I think every single person and their mom cried to this book. If you didn't cry to this book, something is seriously wrong with you. Okay, I'm just kidding. No, this book made me sob like a freaking child. Oh my god, I don't ever want to relive that again. Like, I was terrified to finish reading it because of how much it was making me cry. But then this one came out of nowhere. This was so unexpected. I figured I would probably cry if it was anything like this. This was so good. The Things We Leave Unfinished. It came out of nowhere. The twist, I was like, huh? Why does Rebecca Yarros do this to me? And then this wasn't a sob like these 2 books were, but I still cried, and you guys saw that on camera in one of my reading vlogs, so I thought I would include this, and that is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I I cried, okay? I cried, and it felt good. This book was good. I'm obsessed. This was a really freaking good book. And lastly, another book that made me cry that I did on audio was My Friends by Frederick Bachman. That was also a 5-star read for me. I loved that book. I definitely cried. And yeah, it was just sad. It was heartbreaking, but it was beautiful. And it was a really good book. So now for a book that made me happy was my number one is The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. This book made me so happy. It made me frustrated at times, but it made me mostly happy. This boyfriend was also amazing, Christopher. Honestly, he is on a very, very similar level to Daniel and Jacob. I don't know. I feel like Daniel and Jacob just surpassed Christopher still, though. But that's really hard because Christopher was amazing. This book made me really happy, and so did these two. Can you tell I loved these? Can you tell? These books were so good. The most beautiful book I bought, I think you could already tell. This bad boy. I already showed her off, but she's seriously gorgeous. I've never had a prettier book. So I have the paperback edition as well. So I think I'm gonna put the paperback on my shelf like this, and then this one like this. I've always seen people do that, and I've never had a book to do that with. So I'm excited. I literally am so obsessed with like this whole romantasy thing now that I think I would even get like little dragon bookends and like wolf bookends, because they're gonna have their own shelf. This is going to be a trilogy, I think, so I'm excited. I did start reading a little bit of Furybound, which is like book 2 in the series, but I just had to tell myself like, wait, you have summer reads coming, so I'm kind of like paused with that book right now, but it's so good, like I just can't help it. Okay, so a book I need to read by the end of the year that I literally need to stop talking about and saying that I'm gonna read it this year is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I am dying to read that book, and I just haven't read it yet. And it's kind of annoying that I haven't read it yet. But here's the thing. My friend Sarah bought the book to buddy read with me, and I was getting all my summer reads ready, and then I realized I can't find it. So it's on my shelf somewhere. But as some of you guys may know, or if you've been paying attention to my videos, I live with my family right now until our house is done being built. We are hopefully going to move in the month of August. Until then, all my shelves and my books are in the garage, and they're like covered with things. So the only books I've been able to read are like the books I had taken out previously, like at the beginning of the year, that I knew I'd want to read this year, or new books I've bought, or stuff on my Kindle. Like that's all I have access to. So that's why it's been kind of hard having a book channel, but I can't wait because these videos are going to literally transform once I have my library. And I even bought something to decorate my library with that I'm so excited to put up. It's like an actual art painting that I purchased and commissioned for someone to paint for me, an artist. So I'm really excited to put that up and have you guys see that. How many 5 stars have I read this year so far? Okay, so I think I told you guys this, but I tried really hard this year to be a little more strict with my ratings, and I have noticed that a lot. I used to never rate anything a 1 star, a 2 star, and I just told myself, why am I not doing that? Because if I really don't like something, I need to tell other people I don't like it. Not that that's a big deal, but I just need to be honest with myself. So anyways, I still, for some reason, ended up with 26 5 stars. I thought I was being really picky this year, but I still ended up with 26. But you know what? That's good. I know my reading taste, I feel like it's not a bad thing that I have that many 5 stars, because that just tells you, like, out of all the books I've already read, which I didn't say this at the beginning of the video, but I am at 80 books. I've read 80 books already this year. That is crazy. I have 26 5 stars, so that's amazing. Here is a book I enjoyed with mixed reviews. I know I'm repeating these books a lot, I'm sorry. But The Lost Letter, I don't know if you've seen, but it has a lot of mixed reviews. And it's kind of funny. It's like you almost can't tell if people are being sarcastic. But you could even tell in my review when I was doing my reading wrapped up for, I think I read this in February. I was like, I cannot tell you enough to not pick this book up. Like, don't read it. But it was a 5-star. So it's like the most like contradicting statement ever. But I had seen a lot of 1-stars. I don't know if it was just because it was so heartbreaking and like people didn't like that, or if they were just being sarcastic. I don't know. But this is a trophy book for me. Like, I read this on my Kindle and I loved it so much I had to get a copy. So that just tells you how much I liked it. Now for my 5-star predictions for the end of the year, the rest of the year. I am first going to predict Every Summer After being a 5-star for me. I've heard really good things about this. I'm going to read this in like a week or two. I plan like on reading this very soon because of the adaptation that's coming out. So I'm going to read this very soon. I don't even know, like this better be good. It's for sure probably going to be more than a 4-star, but I'm anticipating it to be a 5-star. Next, I'm anticipating The Keeper to be a 5-star because I rated The Defender a 5-star, and I feel like Single Dad and Anna Huang's growth with writing, like I feel like it's going to be a 5-star for me, but that's just me. And I also think that Fury Bound Part 2 of Diary Bound is going to be a 5-star. I rated Diary Bound a 5-star. I feel like Fury Bound will probably be one as well. I don't know. I have a really good feeling about it. Those writers are onto something. I wonder if that's their debut novel. I have to research them, but that would be one hell of a debut novel. That's crazy. And lastly, to finish out this video, I'm predicting Binding 13 to be a 5-star. That's right, you heard me. I am going to read the Binding 13 series this year, and I'm really excited to dive into that universe, but I'm telling you, all those books better be a 5-star with the amazing stuff I've heard about them. That was my mid-year book tag, guys. I hope you got some book recs out of here. If you couldn't tell, I feel like there was some good stuff that I repeated a lot so you could tell how good it was. Just leave in the comments anything you want to know. And yeah, love you book besties. Thanks for watching this video.